Right. Hello, AP class. This is Ms. Harrington. We are going to go over this free response question that we answered last week. So, all right, so you have your question and then you have your two graphs here. All right, so the first part, we need to determine the net change in atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration from between 140,000 years ago and 125,000 years ago. So, first thing, you need to find those two values. So start from 140, go up till you meet the line, go over. So you get about 200 parts per million carbon dioxide, and then 125, so that's one. Just kidding. This is 140. Here. Still, you go up, go over, still get to 200. So 140, 130, 120, so 125 is going to be here in the middle. So go up and get to about 280. So the rubric says that you can use anything between 195 and 205. So let's bump that range up a little bit more just to be nice. And say 190 to about 210. And then for 125, should have gotten somewhere between 270 and 290. So, and then you always do the calculation for further in the past, for most recent minus further in the past. So you should get an increase of about 80 parts per million, or somewhere between 65 and 95 parts per million. Just double check your math, make sure you did it right, and that it's actually somewhere in this range. And you would get 1 point for this. You have to show the setup to get the 1 point, and you have to do the math correctly. Your setup, so your setup can be just a set of lines drawn from the x-axis up and over to the y-axis, and from the x-axis up and over to the y-axis. So that can be your setup. And then the second part asks us to calculate the ratio of change in the mean global temperature to the change in atmospheric carbon dioxide concentration. So again, you should have gotten something like 80 up here. And so the first thing you need to do is calculate your temperature change. So if you look at it, so from 140,000 years ago is about -8 degrees Celsius, and 125 you get about -4. So, well, this says +2. So, all right, so it really depended on how you drew that line. So somewhere between, somewhere around -2 to +2. So it says about those ranges, so we'll take somewhere between for the 125 years ago, 125,000 years ago, we'll take anywhere from -2 to +4. And so when you are, and again, we're doing the most recent minus the further in the past number. So when you're doing that, make sure you're careful when you're subtracting a negative. So when you subtract a negative, it's basically addition. So it's an increase of about 10 degrees. So that could be anywhere from probably 8 degrees to probably 12 degrees. You get And then you have to have your, so you get 1 point for correctly calculating the temperature change. So 1 point for this whole part. Now they asked you to set up a ratio. They did not ask you to find a percentage. They did not ask you for a decimal. So you need to have it in the form of a ratio. So you will have whatever your temperature change was that you calculated, so somewhere between 8 and 12. And then you'll either have a colon between it, a slash like a fraction, or you can write it out in words, 10 to 80. Or if you had numbers like 10 and 80 or 12 and 80 and you simplified it, that's also acceptable. So 2 total points for this. So make sure you're writing out to the side of your answer how many points you got out of 2 so that you know for later. So then this next question, they give us some extraneous information here so that you can just ignore. This is the actual part of the question. So predict the change in the mean global temperature between 1950 and 2050 using the ratio you calculated in part 2. So the first thing you need to do is to figure out what the value in 1950 was. So that would be at the 0 mark on our graphs. Yeah. So we are looking for the temperature change based on the carbon dioxide concentration. So our carbon dioxide concentration that they gave us is 200 parts per million. So we're just going to plug that in. So remember, we want to, with our unit conversion, we want to cancel out the carbon dioxide concentration units because we're just looking for a temperature. So we'll have 200 times 1 degree Celsius, which we got up here as our ratio, or whatever your top number for your ratio was, divided by whatever your bottom number for your ratio was. So that when we multiply across, the parts per million will cancel out and you'll be left with temperature alone. So it should be somewhere around 25. They say the acceptable range is 18 to 34. However, there is no penalty for any incorrect if you had an incorrect answer up here, or even in part 1, if you had an incorrect answer there, and then you carry that through correctly into parts 2 or 3, you still get full points for parts 2 or 3. If you had an incorrect ratio for part 2, but you correctly did the calculation here and you got a different answer than this, you can still get full points for that. So there's a possible 1 point for part 1, 2 points for part 2, 1 point for part 3. Right. So part 4, we're moving on out of the math section. So you don't have to have had the math correct to get 6 points in this question. So you need to describe one major assumption that was necessary to make the prediction in part 3 above. So your list of assumptions are here. And since it says describe and discuss the validity of the assumption, you have to both state the assumption, so like that there's a direct relationship between carbon dioxide and temperature, or that carbon dioxide is the only greenhouse gas that's impacting temperature, or that the change is over a very short period of time. So they give you a whole list of assumptions here. If you have an assumption that is not on this list, but you are very sure is correct, contact me and we will talk about it and see whether or not you get points. Then you also, so that's 1 point over here for your assumption. For your second point, you need to talk about why that assumption is correct or incorrect. So you could say like that there's not a direct relationship between carbon dioxide and temperature because there are other greenhouse gases that also play into warming. So carbon dioxide and temperature carbon dioxide is not the only thing impacting temperature. So that's same thing for here. You could also talk about like the positive feedback loops, so that once the temperature gets to a certain point, it might set off a positive feedback that could enhance warming, or a negative feedback that could mitigate warming, offset it. So there's that. Part B, there's 2 points for part B. Identify and describe 2 major causes for the predicted 200 parts per million increase. So you get 1 point for each major cause only if you identify it and describe it. So you would have to say that we are continuing to burn fossil fuels and our population is growing, so that's going to increase the amount of carbon dioxide far more than, so that's going to continue to increase our carbon dioxide concentration, that 200 parts per million. Or as we become more technologically advanced, we use more and more energy, so we are using more fossil fuels to produce energy. Because our population is growing, we are constantly clearing land, which is removing trees that would absorb any carbon dioxide to increase our food production. So any of these things are options. If you think that you have written down something that is a major cause for the predicted 200 parts per million increase in carbon dioxide, and it is not on this list, please contact me and we will discuss. So remember, you have to both identify and describe to get 1 point, and you need 2 things that are on this list. All right, and then part C, we have to identify 2 gases other than carbon dioxide that contribute to human-caused or anthropogenic increase in mean global temperature. So we have to state the gas and describe a major human activity that leads to its release. So you have your list over here. So since you have to do this for 2, you only get 1 point for each gas and the human activity. So you have to state, like, methane is a greenhouse gas. It is caused by raising animals for human consumption. You have to specifically state that it would be raising animals for human consumption, such as cows. You cannot get credit for methane escaping from melted permafrost or methane hydrates in the ocean, because that's an indirect result of human activity, not a direct result of human activity. So you have to list 2 of these greenhouse gases that they have here and explain the human activity that releases them. All right, so if you guys have any questions, please contact me via Google Hangouts or email, and I will do my best to respond to you quickly. Good luck grading.